Hey everybody, welcome to the 2 a.m. pipe on the patio. So tonight I am smoking, this was the very first 320 that I got. And I got this from Mo Piping. She's the one who enabled me to get addicted to these pipes. So, yeah, thank you, Teresa. I love you forever. So this one I have named the Enabler in honor of Teresa Mo Piping. So I just got home about an hour and a half ago from taking my youngest back to college. It's something I really do not look forward to doing, is taking her back. Love going to pick her up, but really not a fan of taking her back. So, got a little story to tell you here. So, last week I went to the doctor several times, to several different doctors last week. And I'm not a guy who likes to take medicine. I'm not a big pill guy. I just don't like taking meds, you know. And I know sometimes they're important. They can be valuable. They can be, you know, something you really need to take. I understand that. I just don't like it. I don't like having to always be popping pills. So I try not to take any medication as much. I try not to take unnecessary medication, you know. Like pain pills. I don't want to take any pain pills. But I was, excuse me, I was talking to the doctor. And I was explaining to him this issue I was having, and to find out if there was any options I have. And we talked about it for a while, and we discussed it. And he said that there was a pill that would help this situation. So wrote me a prescription for the pill. So I came home. My wife came home. And we were getting a little heated up there, you know. And so I said, hang on here, I gotta go take this pill. And of course, it's a Viagra. So I go in and I take this pill, and the damn thing gets stuck right in my throat. And I could not get it to go down. I couldn't get it to come back up. I had a stiff neck for a week. I'm no old pops, I'm sorry. Teresa, I am so thankful you traded me for this pipe, man. And I'm glad you like the pipe you got. It is a pretty one, so. So it's a nice night tonight. This is my Saturday night. Tomorrow will be my Sunday. I have Sundays and Mondays off. So That's just so good, man. This pipe. This is the one. This is the one that changed it all for me. Changed it all. It was never the same after that. And of course I smoke them without a filter. I don't like the filters. Have to draw too hard with a filter. Get into bad habits. So I was on PT Daily's live stream this afternoon when I got home. He was on live, so I hung out with there for a little while. Saw that he's also a musician, and he was talking about opening up for, bigger name bands, and how it can be exhilarating and intimidating at the same time. And we talked about how cool it was to meet some of your heroes and have them be just down to earth, regular guys. So one of my biggest heroes of all time was Albert King. And I don't know if I've told this story before now, but I'm going to tell it again. So this buddy of mine calls me up, Bob Giuffre calls me up, and he says, "Hey man, Albert King's playing tomorrow at the Belly Up. Let's go see him." And I said, "Man, I got tickets to Jeff Healey tomorrow. I already got tickets for that." So he goes, "Hey man, Jeff Healey's going to be around forever. Albert King could die tonight." I couldn't argue with that, so we went to Albert King. We walked in the door. We go to the front door, the bouncer checks us out, lets us in. We walk in, and there's Albert King, smoking his pipe, drinking a cup of coffee. And this guy, I'm a blues guitar player. Albert King was Albert King, it was Freddie King, Albert King, and B.B. King. There wasn't anything bigger than those guys as far as I was concerned. So we walk in, and Albert's just standing right there. Now Albert King he's about 6'4", 250 to 275 pounds. He's a big man. He's a big man. So we walk in, and Bob, my buddy Bob, went over to him and he says, "Mr. King, it's a pleasure to meet you. I've been stealing your licks for years." And Albert King says, "Well, you just keep on stealing them, young man." And I stood there and just went, I couldn't say a thing, man. I was in the presence of greatness, and I knew it, and I couldn't bring myself to even speak. And Albert just kind of laughed a little bit, and he says, "Enjoy the shows, fella. Enjoy the show, fellas." I couldn't say a thing, man. But he was so nice. He was just so nice. Until he got on the stage. He got on the stage. He became a different man. Now, one of my drummers, George Slupik, who has played with Chris Robinson, Brotherhood, Mofro, Sha Na Na, he's pretty big time, and he played for Albert King years and years ago when he was like 18 years old or something. So he used to tell me stories about Albert King all the time. But Albert got on stage, started playing, and literally the first note he hit, I got just chicken skin, man. I got goosebumps all over me. Just one note, man. The hair stood up on the back of my head, and it was like, this is nothing I'd heard on his records prepared me for what I heard in person. It was like, he's one of those guys that you have to see in person to really get his greatness. I mean, you could hear it on the records, but when you see him in person, it's a whole different ball game. And I goosebumped up. The hair was standing up on my arms. I had goosebumps all over. He started playing. He was tearing it up. And all of a sudden, the sound man started messing with the sound. And Albert stopped the show. And he said, don't mess with the sound. It was right the way I had it, and I want it that way. Put it back where it was, and don't mess with the sound. Everybody kind of starts cheering and everything, and because it did sound better where it was before. And Albert starts playing again. The guy starts messing with it again, and Albert stops this thing and stops the show again. He goes, listen, you MFer. He just goes, if you touch that board again, I will walk off this stage and I will not come back out here. And he was, I mean, he's a big man with a commanding presence, and you believed he was gonna go wring this guy's neck if he did it again, you know. And the guy left it alone after that. He didn't mess with it. The club owner came over and told the guy, don't mess with it. Albert did not mess around, man. And I never did get to talk to him. I just Charlie Musselwhite, nicest guy, incredible harmonica player, the nicest man I've ever run across in the music business. He was just the most pleasant, nice guy, man. He was playing also at the Belly Up one time, and I went up there, and on the break we got talking, and he invited me backstage. We're from the same hometown. And he autographed a bunch of albums for me and stuff, gave them to me. And he was just the nicest guy you'd ever want to meet, just to everybody, not just to me, but to everybody he ran across that night. He was just the most pleasant, nice guy. And it's just so great to see somebody who's your heroes be so nice to the people who are coming to see him and not have that ego thing happening, you know. So I just wanted to tell those stories there. And I got more that I'll ring out over the course of this year. And getting to play with heroes and stuff was a lot of fun. And all I just kept saying was, how did I ever get here, you know? But I'll talk to you guys later. God bless y'all. Have a good night.